Welcome to Sweet Tea Channeling. I'm Debbie Pokornik, and with me is my co host and our gifted channeler, Susan Hoskins. Today's channeling feels extra special because very recently, on October 14th, 2023, the day of the solar eclipse in Libra, we were told to celebrate as a new portal was opening for us, and as a result, for Hoomadhi. We made the decision to use that day as our official Hoomadhi launch and are excited to announce that we now have an online presence at patreon.com/Hoomadhi, which you also can currently access by using our website address, hoomadhi.org. We had a lot of fun channeling both a welcome message from our Hoomadhi guides and a special meditation, along with a heartfelt letter from the two of us. These are free gifts for you, which, along with our new video about us, are well worth checking out. Since we are still basking in this energy and know that it's the vibration of this moment that is retained in the videos, we decided this is a great time to record our next Sweet Tea channeling. If you are new to these calls, which involve both channeling and playful discussion in the stream of consciousness, we are thrilled you have joined us and want you to know your timing is perfect. However, if you feel a little lost about the purpose of these calls, you might want to go back to June of 2023 and listen to the introduction from one of those calls where we outlined those details. In a nutshell, we are creating Hoomadhi together, a reality filled with compassion, understanding, and delight. We're doing it by receiving channeled guidance and then playing with how we might bring that information into being right here where we live, right now. We have already opened sacred space for all of us, but we ask that you take a moment before starting to center and ground yourself with a few deep breaths and call in your guides to help you pick out the most relevant pieces from this episode for you personally. We'll be silent for a moment so you can do that. All right, my beautiful friend, I am so excited for this call to begin. I mean, we're still swimming in that beautiful, delightful energy from the weekend. Anything you would like to share to start us off?
Oh, it's a fabulous, free flowing consciousness of energy where just so much is possible with what we're creating with Hoomadhi and just such a wonderful new way to live. So I'm really glad we're doing a sweet tea channeling to celebrate.
Yes, yes. And, I think it's really interesting, and it might be for a lot of our listeners that part of what we did on that day was we set intentions. And those intentions are all about creating a life for us right here, right now, that feels absolutely perfect to us. I mean, not that everything goes perfectly, but that we have beautiful relationships, that we live in abundance, that we're healthy, we're vibrant, we're strong, that we're there for our loved ones, that, we just have all of these glorious moments because we really are living heaven on earth. And that's what Hoomadhi is.
I have been really struck in the last several weeks about what it means to create heaven on earth. What does that mean for each one of us individually? What does even the word heaven mean? We know it could be paradise, it could be 5D, whatever is the existence you would love to live in and create every single day. That's what we're calling heaven. And it's not something we have to wait for some kind of afterlife. We've been told that we really can live it right here, right now. It is a dimension we live in that is separate and apart from anything going on in the current reality that we think of as 3D. because that doesn't need to affect us. Why would it if we're living heaven on earth?
Mm-hmm. In the message of welcome that we give away as our free gift on Patreon, um, it was really neat, I think, how our guides got all giddy about the word civilization and
Mm.
creating this new civilization. And I think it might be fun to kind of play just a little bit with that here. But yeah, so what does that mean to you? I mean, what you were channeling the message itself. So what what did it mean when they got all kind of giddy about, oh, we like that word, civilization, which isn't a new word for us, but I feel like there's just a whole new spin on it.
Well, it was because it's right here, right now, and it's bringing like-minded people together in consciousness, no matter where you are. And the beauty of what was channeled was it is incarnated beings like you and I, it's beings in spirit, it's beings from other planets, it's beings from the cosmos, all living in a new land where you don't go anywhere, but it's this consciousness where we just celebrate the truth of who we really are.
Mm-hmm.
And by so doing, oh my gosh, the opportunities are there to not only learn more and more, but do more and more, to literally manifest what we need, to heal whatever is hurting us, to just grow together and celebrate how we all individually bring our gifts, whatever they are, into a new civilization of beings. And isn't it incredible? I hadn't thought about this before, but isn't it incredible that we now have the technology even to be able to draw in these beautiful beings who aren't in the room with us?
Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
that's our whole connection has been based on that. We've only met each other in person once, and it was
Yes.
just last May.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That is so true. And I mean, when you add in that other piece of everything in the cosmos,
Mhm.
right? There's just such magic in that.
I think the word civilization is so meaningful because you can think, okay, what kind of a civilization do we even know about or have heard about that might be anything like what we're creating together? And Lemuria comes to mind just because it's one of the few civilizations that was as pure in consciousness as what we're creating. And it exists just like our civilization exists right here, right now, where we are. We don't have to travel to a new land, but our experience of living can be so different from the civilization so many people are experiencing in their reality right now, that what they're choosing to do doesn't need to affect us at all because it's not part of our experience.
Mm.
To me, that just is filled with so much possibility.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because when I first learned about Lemuria, one of the things that I was told, whether or not this is the truth, I don't know, but that Lemuria was too spiritual and that they weren't able to get fully grounded here because it was just so much easier and more loving, more wonderful to be in that spiritual space. And so the big difference between us and Lemuria is that we've been in the gunk. We felt, we can feel that really strong hold of being in 3D. And we've managed to figure out ways to kind of clean the gunk off and to be
Mhm.
able to lighten our souls. Really, I don't know if it is our souls. Probably it's more of our human body, but to get, to bring in that spiritual aspect and to be able to raise ourselves up.
Right.
We won't forget that connection, though. You'll always have that experience that you can look back at. It's not gone from your world. It's just something you've like, okay, been there, done that. you know, I'm ready to move on.
Well, and I love how you and I have been tasked from the beginning to live it, to
Yes.
create it.
Yes.
to be in it. And what we've discovered that I love so much is you don't want to be anywhere else. You can deal with your current life challenges, of course, but you deal with them in an entirely different way where you don't go back to the old way. You find new loving ways to deal with anything. And it just opens up so many possibilities.
It does. And we've talked many times about life just gets so much easier, and the synchronicities, the things that happen, like, yeah, it is just so much more fun to be in.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
So with
is.
that said, I feel like we should do some channeling.
Love it.
Yeah. Christopher, what do you mean when you say the portal is open for us?
What we mean by the portal being open is the endless possibilities that we can experience together. Your angels, your guides, your master teachers, all those beautiful beings from other planets that are like-minded with you, and all the people you're drawing into Hoomadhi. The portal is like the aperture of a lens being open wide. And in photography, of course, you don't want it necessarily opening wide because sometimes there's too much light. But what we want you to know is there can never be too much light. So envision the aperture of your heart and your soul opening as wide as it can be in the moment to experience the love and the joy and the delight of us being one as we discover more and more aspects of ourselves that we see in one another and we bring into our own heart space through this wide open aperture or portal, leading into a brand new experience of living right here, right now, right where you are, that is just so fresh and new and full of promise. This is what we mean by the portal being wide open for an endless adventure of creating what you believe to be your own version of paradise on earth. It's not something you have to earn. It's not for some, but not for others, as you've been taught. It's not something that you have to wait for until you shed your physical body to experience it. It is like, come on in. The doors are open. How would you like to see your mansion? How would you like to see your temple, your sanctuary that is always within your heart? How would you like to view one another? Not looking for differences, but looking for unique expressions of the same one. How would you view people differently if you realized that what you see in another that you admire is not something outside of you? It's an aspect of you that you can now recognize dwelling within you. We love that. And we just want you to know on this glorious day of now, whenever people are listening to this, because every day is a glorious experience of now, that the portal is open, the aperture is wide open for all the love and light you would like to experience. And you bring your entire self with you. You will never be asked to be less than or to hold yourself in. You are being invited to throw your heart wide open to be more of you, because in so being more of you, you allow others to do so as well. And that's how we create heaven on earth together. We would like you to savor that, the visuals of this channeling, the nuggets of this channeling, and really feel into for you what that means for you to be the best version of yourself, to feel all the joy that you can imagine, and to swim in the delight of the stream of consciousness that just allows you to be who you are, exactly who you are, right now, in this moment, as the best possible version of you. And so we give you our blessing with this channeling as we create this beautiful experience together. And we're so grateful for each and every one of you who have traveled the journey of living in the gunk and come to a place where you're willing to let go of all that, to cleanse all the residue from you and walk into this brilliant experience that is you, of you, and will be you now and forever. We let that be so, and so it is.
So it is. Mm. Well, that was a lot of loveliness.
It was. It was. I love what they gave about the aperture being wide open, like the portal.
Mm-hmm.
There is not too much light anywhere.
No, no. You know, it's interesting. When I was doing my meditation this morning, that was one of the pieces of it. I was just really encouraged to notice the light shining from me 360 degrees, right? And just being this big ball of light shining out in all directions. And it seems like such a simple thing to do. And yet it's also very easy to go, okay, yeah, I did that now. Let me move on. Whoop, pull all the light back in.
Well, I just wonder because again, I love the photography analogy. And I wonder if that's not a metaphor that we've carried with us in our life up to this point that, oh, I can't let everybody see me because they'll see all of me. They'll see things I might not want them to see. They'll see this. I can't be all that. I have to be smaller and focus and just let a little bit of light in. And this was saying like, throw that aperture wide open just to really be who you are, all of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and the other piece that I take from that, which has always felt very, very true to me, is we're all being the best version of ourselves we can possibly be in any moment of time. So the only thing for us to do is to work on continuing to be the best version. And that best version will get better and better and better because when you're being your best at your best, that's just how evolution works. So,
Well, and what I love is rather what we talked about in previous sweet tea channelings. When you're living in Hoomadhi, shining your light the best you can in the moment, you don't have to be defensive about being the best possible version of yourself, even if it doesn't seem to meet your own standards. And what we've talked about before is just that little nudge I've gotten from Joshua in a situation where it was kind of like, well, yeah, you did pretty good with that, but there really is another level of compassion we could go to. And so when you're living in Hoomadhi, you don't have to defend yourself all the time. You don't have to be right and somebody else wrong. You just are you learning more and more levels of all the good
yes.
stuff. Right.
Yes. And I really love that because when we're not being defensive, it is like opening the aperture bigger. We allow more in and we see things we didn't necessarily see the moment before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and knowing that our guides and angels and master teachers love us just the way we are right now. And if we so allow them to be fully present with us, I sure would much rather have that little gentle touch that goes, yeah, not too bad, but how about this next level? I like
Yes.
that. Or this awareness. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's always something more. So something that's coming up for me right now is how we've been told it's almost like we've created a ship that is sailing to Hoomadhi, and our job is to provide the ship and to take the ship forwards. Our job is not to run around and wake people up and say, hey, come on, the ship's leaving. You're going to miss the ship. And that analogy just feels really important right now for those who might be listening and thinking, oh, I've got too much, too many things I need to work through before I'm ready to live Hoomadhi.
Mhm.
If this feels like your ship, even if you think you're not there yet, you are, right? Be the best version of yourself you can be.
Right.
And that just feels really important right now to say, hey, come, we welcome you with open arms into this circle, which is a virtual circle. We're not asking you to come to Georgia or to Colorado or anything like that. We are saying we will meet this way
Mhm.
online. And if you don't have the means for Zooming, we will figure out another way, because it is that important that we figure out how to connect online, offline, just as souls.
Right, right. And the beauty of this is that when we're connecting as souls, those who are hearing this call know that there is a better way and have gotten to the place, I'm guessing, in life that you and I have gotten to, Debbie, which is it's not my job, nor do I have the ability to go in and try to fix what's going on in the world now as I perceive it.
Mhm.
Rather, that's just not part of me anymore. And so I much prefer now to get on with living life as I envision it and allow others to continue to live life in whatever way is serving their own growth at this minute. But it's not my job anymore to fix anybody or fix any situation. It's just our beautiful supersonic mission to invite people into Hoomadhi with us.
Yes. And to live it
Oh,
the
amen.
way they want to live it. So, all right, my sweet. Well, I think there's going to be a lot of beautiful nuggets that we can pull out of that channeling that you just did, and play with in the stream of consciousness in some of our future episodes. So, I'm feeling good and complete. How about you?
Oh, very much so. And looking forward to the next time we get to play.
Nice. Ready to join us live on these calls? Send us an email at info.hoomadhi, that's HOOMADHI @gmail.com. We'd love to have you play with us.